When it comes to Scorched Earth, rat holes are hidden in every crevice, so we proudly present Top 10 Unseen Rat Holes on Scorched Earth. Coming at number 10, this first rat hole can be found at 16.5 latitude and 33.2 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this rat hole is, I'll just say this is a bit of an awkward one. So this can be found directly next to Blue Ob, right underneath the water. So once you come straight into the water, you basically swim over here, and I'm gonna suspect that this gets patched eventually, but it is ARK, so it's gonna take them a good minute to patch up this spot. So it's more of an open spot. However, it is more of a rat hole because it's more underwater and it's kind of hidden in a little entrance where you really cannot see it at all. Whenever you get over here, the water actually just disappears. So as you can see here, there is no water here, meaning you do not need any vacuum compartments. You can build regular foundations and it will work perfectly. And you can even breathe under here. So overall, it's not a bad location. So yeah, moving on to number 9. And coming at number 9, this next one can be found at 34.1 latitude and 11.9 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this one is found in the Wyvern Scar, and this is one of, I believe, 3 of these. There's actually a bunch more, I just couldn't really find any, but these were the couple that I could find. This first one, it's an okay size. I will admit it's not like super big. However, if you're looking for a nice little hidden spot to build where a lot of people really aren't going to mess with you, this location is actually pretty decent. Because you have to deal with wyverns and turrets, it's going to be a bit of a pain to definitely raid these locations. But yeah, overall, it is a pretty good location to build in. And coming at number 8, this next one can be found at 23.8 latitude and 59.5 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this rat hole can be found on the side of this cliff. Now this is another one of the rat holes that is pretty well hidden, I will say that. I mean, it's very hard to even see this one until you're on it. The only downside with this rat hole, it's not massive, but it's not small. I mean, you have a decent amount of room in here if you push some turrets back in here. If you're a solo or even a duo tribe looking to stay super hidden, this definitely makes for a pretty good rat hole for you. I mean, overall, it's not a terrible one. It's not terribly too small. I mean, you can't really complain. It's not a bad rat hole at all. The only downsides of this are, once people know that you're here, it's going to be a little tricky to keep them out. I'll just say that, because it's very easy to access this rat hole. So if you're looking for a decent, maybe starter rat hole until you can find a better location, this is definitely one for you. Up next, coming at number 7, this next one can be found at 68.1 latitude and 18.4 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this location, again, is another wyvern spot. However, this one is much taller. So this one is not a terrible rat hole at all. We'll admit it is a little bit small. So if you're looking for a smaller location, this one is pretty good. Honestly, these last 4 are probably one of your best ones for the smaller ones. Coming up here, if you know how to build this properly, it's going to be a difficult raid. I mean, it's going to seriously be a pretty difficult raid. As long as you spam the walls with turrets, I guarantee you no one's going to be getting in easily. I mean, it is possible, but just know it's going to be very tricky. And then having it in the Wyvern Scar again is going to make things even harder. So if you're looking for a nice little location that's super hidden, this is a good one for you. Coming at number 6, this next one can be found at 32.5 latitude and 12.7 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now again, this is another wyvern rat hole. There are a ton of these over here, and there's still ones that I missed. I just know that for a fact, but these are the best ones that I could find. Anyways, this next rat hole, I'll admit it's a little bit awkward because it is a different style rat hole. You have to come in from the top instead of coming in from the bottom. So building in here is going to be a tiny bit tricky. As long as you build it on a platform, it should work out pretty well. And there's actually a good amount of room in here. It looks small on video, I'm telling you. It's actually a pretty decent size in here. So as long as you can figure out how to defend that entrance, I guarantee you this will be a pretty decent spot for a nice little starter rat hole. This video is sponsored by Mitra 9. Mitra 9 is a kava and kratom seltzer company that quite literally makes you feel good. My favorite flavor is tropical. Now, kava and kratom give you a similar effect to alcohol, just without the impairment. It's more similar to a high. Mitra 9 has really helped me get through long, stressful days. Use my code OUTCAST for 20% off at mitra9.com. Must be 18 or 21 in some states. Up next, coming at number 5, this next one can be found at 51.7 latitude and 16.4 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this is another wyvern rat hole. Like I said, there's a bunch of them in here. Now this one is actually a pretty decent one. So it is a very, very tall way up, but once you're all the way up here, you have a decent amount of room. I mean, again, it's not massive. You don't have this crazy giant rat hole, unlike some of the other ones that I found on here. However, again, if you are a smaller tribe, this one would really work out well for you. I mean, overall, pretty good size, lots of room in here, especially up at the top. And as long as you know how to build turrets properly in here, I guarantee you it's going to be a pretty tricky raid. There's no cave damage in any of these, which makes it super nice. It also expands into the back up here. Nothing too crazy, but you can easily hide all of your main loot back in there. And as long as you know how to build these, I'm telling you, these things are going to be very, very overpowered. Coming at number 4, this next one can be found at 52.1 latitude and 28.9 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this rat hole, I'm not even gonna lie, it's really not a bad one at all. So as you can see with this entrance, it is a little bit of an awkward entrance. Kind of just looks like a butthole, to be honest. I mean, a little strange, but overall, it's not a terrible rat hole. I mean, once you come in here, it is a very, very skinny entrance that opens up into this pretty massive room. Now, yes, it is kind of awkward. It's a little bit angled, and then down there is where you're gonna build the main part. However, it's pretty big. So as long as you know how to build in here properly, maybe put a giant turret tower on the outside, it'll make for actually a pretty good rat hole. Next up, coming at number 3, this can be found at 36.5 latitude and 71 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this rat hole, I'm not even gonna lie, it's actually a pretty decent one. So this can be found on the side of one of these cliffs. And building on these cliffs, actually, it's pretty overpowered. Now the Oasis Sword, yes, you can argue, you can easily get a rock column up there, you can easily soak down these bases. However, it's gonna be a pretty difficult raid. I mean, for anybody that does not have one of those, it's gonna be pretty hard. Overall, this rat hole's pretty big. You have a lot of room to work with in here, 2 separate little areas to go into, and you can also go pretty high up in this rat hole as well. So you can build a nice little turret wall on the front of this. Maybe whenever cliff platforms come out, make it even bigger. This would make for a really, really overpowered spot. Tons of room. Overall, good location, and it's pretty central as well. So yeah, if you're looking for a pretty good location, this is one for you. And coming at number 2, this next rat hole can be found at 76.4 latitude and 69.7 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this one is pretty similar to, I believe it was number 4, by having this same kind of like crack style entrance. However, this one is a little bit bigger. So if you're looking for that same style but just bigger and at a better location, honestly, this is a pretty good one for you. So coming in here, it's not as tall, I will say that right now. However, it's bigger by being able to build in here on flat ground. So if you're looking for another really, really good rat hole, this is definitely a really, really good one to work with. A good amount of room. And then you do have this second little thing that kind of looks like an entrance. However, you cannot get anything through here. Best part about this, you cannot get any dinos in unless you have a cryopod. So it's pretty good, other than maybe a PT or like a snow owl or something whenever those come out. But yeah, overall, it is a pretty good rat hole. And finally, coming at number 1, this can be found at 45.2 latitude and 23 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this rat hole, definitely one of the most overpowered ones that I have never seen. So coming over here into this little entrance, it is a literal crouch entrance, meaning you cannot even fly in here, you can't stand it and walk in here, you have to crouch and get in here. Once you're in here, it drops down into 2 different layers. This first one being your main layer, and then there is a second one right underneath. You have a ton of room in here. The video does not really show how big that it truly is. This is pretty big. Only issue that you are going to have with this rat hole, indie forges. I don't think any indie forges will fit in here. Maybe below, possibly, but I don't know. It's going to be a tricky one for sure. Lots of room. You can build a nice little turret wall, and I guarantee you it's going to be a struggle to get in here. Down here is your little second room. It's nothing too wild. I mean, you have a little bit of room down here. Okay, yeah, actually an indie forge should be able to fit down here. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to leave a like if you're new and hit that subscribe button. Our goal is to hit 100K by the end of next year. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.